Hello, everybody. Welcome to June. It is officially summer. We've got some really exciting news today for Jon Loves Dogs clients. When it comes to things that I am passionate about, some of you know this about me already. I can talk for literal hours without getting tired or bored. I am incredibly passionate about pet care. So, in the instance of attempting to keep things brief, I will jump into some of the exciting changes that are coming this month to our services. Uh, this video is one of them. This is a new thing I'm trying. I sent out an email with the newsletter last month, but I think I got caught in a bunch of spam filters. Most of you did not even receive that. So I am going to try a YouTube video with notes included in the email that I send this out in, and I will try and text message it to you all as well. So anyway, like I mentioned, jumping right in, new services. We're going to be adding a significant amount of new services, the first of which is 20-minute walks. So as our prices have increased, I have been more and more worried about keeping a more economical option particularly for dogs who don't need the full 30 minutes. And that's what this is. 20-minute walks are still a really valuable and stimulating experience for dogs, particularly those who don't require as much exercise, such as the smaller toy breeds, the little Malteses, the Shih Tzus, Chihuahuas. They don't really need too much exercise. 20 minutes is probably going to be fine for them. And again, like I mentioned, this is more economical. It's at a lower price point, so it might be preferable for some of those of you who have been challenged by the price increases. Along with that, we are including now a 45-minute walk as well. I'm not as sure about that one. I don't know that it's really needed, but I figure we'll take a shot at it anyway. It's at a discounted rate for anyone who's looking a little bit longer than 30 minutes, but not quite a full hour, or maybe you want more than 30 minutes for your dog, but you don't want to pay the premium for the full hour. It's there if you need it. And what I'm most excited about is a couple of more creative options that we've added. And something that I've been asked in the past is if I will go take a dog hiking on a trail, nearby, or to a park that's nearby, but not quite within walking distance. And I've always said, no, I can't really do that because my schedule doesn't allow for it. But I'm starting to think, why the heck not? I love hiking. I love dogs. Combining both of them would be super fun. So that is a service that we're now offering. It is very creatively titled Dog Hiking. The default is going to be 2 hours duration. That's going to include pickup and drop off to a local trail, a local park, whatever you like. That is something that's on the website as well. And another is a number of you have been asking about nail trimming, which is something that's really difficult to do without restraint. I've actually tried it with some of your pets, and I haven't been successful about it because for a good nail trim, including a nail grind, which is actually how I prefer to finish all my nail trimmings with the Dremel grinder, it really requires that the dog be restrained. It's too difficult unless your dog is just completely well behaved and used to being groomed to the point that they don't move when you're trimming their nails, which is basically no dog. It's too difficult to just do it in the middle of the kitchen floor or something. But someone recently asked, hey, can you take my dog for a bath? I don't have time and he is disgusting, frankly. And I thought, immediately I'm like, I can't do that. I don't have time. Where do I even go to do it? Do I use their tub? And I thought, my first foray into pet care services during the pandemic was as a pet groomer. So I am a trained pet groomer. And I thought, why not? Why not? It's going to be difficult for me to do long-haired dogs because I don't have an industrial hair dryer, which is what long-haired dogs need after a bath. But if you have a short-haired dog, if you want me to take them for a bath, this kind of clicked when I started the dog hiking idea, because I said, if I'm going to transport the dogs to a trail, I can transport them to a self-wash at a local groomer. There's one in South Orange where they have a self-wash, or I could take them to a Petco. There's a Petco in Verona that has a self-wash right off Pompton Ave. So that's something that we're going to offer as well. We're going to call it a spa trip. It's going to come at 2 different levels. So it'll be just a bath. I'll just take them for a bath. I'll dry them as best I can. I'll brush them out for you. They'll come back clean, smelling good. Or we'll do like what I'm calling an all-inclusive, excuse me, recording this live, you can probably tell. All-inclusive spa trip, which will include the previously mentioned bath, the nail trim with a grind finish to make their nails nice and soft. So if they're jumpers, you know, they're not going to carve their name into your leg with their ragged nails. And we'll also do a toothbrushing and an ear cleaning as well. So if that's something that you're looking for, that's something that'll be on the website as well. So yeah, check the website for details and pricing. JonLovesDogs.com, no H, just JON. Really excited about this stuff. I like differentiating this a little bit and helping you out with what you need. So if you have an idea, if you have something that you'd like us to handle for you, please, by all means, bring it up. Bring it up next time you see me. Send me a text message. Call me. This is how I'm getting like all of the ideas for this business is from you guys. So I really appreciate you reaching out. You're not being a nuisance. It's very helpful, actually. So now into bigger things, and this is super exciting for me in particular. We're going to talk about Jon Loves Dogs' path forward. This past month in May, I hit a point where I realized I was pretty much at capacity. Honestly, more than at capacity. I've had days where I was doing 15 walks plus overnight stays. I mean, this past week, I had 2 days where I had 1 hour in a 24-hour span that I was off the clock. Last month, I lost 4 clients who kind of just went dark on me because they would have reached out to me and said, hey, can you help us out? And I would have to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm fully booked. I literally don't even have the time to squeeze them in for like a 10-minute walk because I'm not going to be in the area. So, you know, I'm having to say no to some of you guys, and you're basically just giving up on me and engaging another pet service provider, which obviously is not, that bothers me. I don't like saying no. I want to help you out when you need my help. And those of you with a business background, if any of you are MBAs or business majors, you know, if you're not growing, you're dying. That's kind of the reality of business, particularly with small business. So I want to be honest, this is a good problem to have. This is something, it's not something where I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's something like, wow, this is so successful and I'm endlessly thankful for it. But I've hit a point kind of where it's like do or die. Like I'm standing at the precipice of either keeping this as a side hustle, scaling it down and getting back to a quote unquote real job, or I take the leap, I, you know, take a dive off of the diving board and go for it and try and build it into a real business. And if I didn't do that, I feel like I would regret it forever. I feel like this would be a thing where I would be, you know, in my mid to late 50s, toiling away in a corporate office somewhere going, God, you know, what would have happened if I had just stuck with Jon Loves Dogs and tried to spin it out into like a full business? I would regret that far more than if I try and spin it out into a full business and fail and in 2 or 3 years have to go back to a corporate job. It would just be a situation where I would look at it and say, you know, I went for it. I wasn't successful for whatever reason, but at least I tried. I gave it a shot. And so that's what I'm doing. And I think those of you who follow us on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, you've already seen that I am hiring. I had 2 interviews this past week with 2 people who were absolutely phenomenal. They're right in the area, Greater Montclair, South Orange. So that's the route we're going. I'm going to be building a team of part-time walkers to help me out specifically with the days when I am just packed. I can't really do 15 walks per day and have that be sustainable. I might have been able to do that in my 20s, but I'm in my 40s now and I can't keep that up long term. You know, it's not an issue of wanting it or not wanting it. It's an issue of my body's not going to hold up and I'm not sharp when I'm doing that much work in a day. So I need people to help me out. And the goal, at least, all my goals always change. So this might be different in 2 weeks, but the goal right now is to hire around 5 part-time walkers to help me out through the end of this year. And the goal for you on the client side is going to be when you need a walk, you book it and it happens. It's not, oh, let me give John a call and then I'll give Tom, Dick, and Harry a call and just in case John's not available, which he hasn't been the last 3 times. That's horrible. That's not good for business. It's not good for you. I want you to have an experience where you go, okay, let's plan a trip for 2 months. We'll book John. And you go online and you book me and it's confirmed and you pay for it and you're all set and you don't have to think about it again. The next time you think about it is when you're sitting in your hotel room or beach house or whatever it is and you see the report come through that we were there servicing you, walking your dog, doing overnight, whatever it is. So we want it to be seamless and we want you to have confidence, absolute confidence that you're going to be booked and that you're going to have coverage. So you don't have to go back to Rover and find 5 more people. You don't have to Google dog walking near me, pet sitting near me, and have a stable of walkers. The goal for this business is use us. You don't have to think about it. We take care of you. We do exceptional work. We provide great service at a baseline of you're just wowed every time. So that's the goal. And I can't do that by myself. It's going to be the back and forth. Are you available? If you can't sit, can you come at night and in the morning? I don't want to do that. That's not, as a pet owner myself, I hate doing that. I hate being like, oh, I have 8 people on Rover. I'll send them each a message and they'll get back to me when they can and see if they can help me. That's not a good experience for the client. So that's what we want to get away from. And from my perspective as a business owner, those of you that have spoken with me that know about my background, that previously aforementioned quote unquote real job was as an HR recruiting leader. So that's what I did in the healthcare industry for 15 years. So I've got experience both managing direct reports. I had a team of double-digit direct reports and in hiring. I've interviewed thousands of people and hired thousands of people through my career. So none of that is super challenging or scary for me. In fact, it's really exciting. I love leading a team. I love having a team atmosphere. And I am so amped up about being in that kind of atmosphere again and watching the people on my team grow. And I'm so excited about not having to tell you guys no half the time that you reach out to me. So this is there are other challenges involved with the business stuff that I'm not as knowledgeable about, particularly with the legal side of things and accounting. That stuff I'll have to learn, but this is obviously the way that we're going to have to go because I just can't, I can't do it all myself. I don't have the bandwidth to do all of that. So it's going to require some part-timers and I'm still going to be in the field. This is not going to be a situation where I become the business manager and I'm kind of behind a desk the whole day and random part-time walkers are coming out to you. It's going to be very much a situation where I am still the main service provider, but I'm not going to be working 12 hours per day and working weekends and overnights and basically just running myself ragged anymore. And I think that's good for you guys because when you get me on an overnight, more on this later, I have bullets on this later that I want to talk through, but when you get me on an overnight after I've been working for 12 hours, you're not getting the best me. You're getting a tired me. I'm making mistakes. I'm missing things. I'm not as mentally present as I should be. So it's a service issue as well. You're not getting the service that you should be getting. And a part-timer to help out so I can rest and get back to it is best. And again, the main goal here is guaranteed staffing, whenever you need me, weekends, after hours, early morning. If I'm on vacation or I'm sick, I never want to tell you no again. That's the goal. Obviously, that's not realistic. Sometimes we're going to be, short-staffed. Sometimes we're not going to be able to handle things, but we got to get to a point where 95% of the time you're just booking and forgetting about it and we're taking care of you. These people will all be, for those of you that care about this is something that's extremely important to me is good working conditions. Some of you don't care and that's fine. But for me, that's always been a big thing in my career. These are going to be W-2 employees. They're full employees. They're not contractors. I will be training them and growing them into this industry if that's what they want. And they will be making above minimum wage. That is important to me as well. And that's been the reason for some of our recent price increases is I need to make sure that the business is making enough to pay these people what their time is worth. And it's going to be worth a lot because I'm going to be training them myself. It's going to be including a full training regimen, 2 full weeks shadowing me to begin with. And I am writing strict written SOPs, standard operating procedures right now. So stuff like, how many photos to post, the little things that we kind of I don't really think about, how to greet the client, how to deal with an anxious dog, how to teach leash manners, how many photos you're posting, when the timer starts, all these little things that are kind of just a given to providing great service are things that I need to teach them so that nothing slips through the cracks. And for those of you that don't know, I've been an animal pet care volunteer, animal handling volunteer for years. I'm a trained groomer. So I have, I'm CPR certified by Red Cross for pet CPR. I have professional animal handling experience. And I hope that that's noticeable when you compare my services to, someone, a student or someone from Rover who is not professionally trained. But the goal is I'm going to grow them and professionally train them. It's not just going to be, I'm hiring someone to throw them onto a case so I can make more money. That's not it at all. It's the guarantee is that you will not notice a difference between me or my team who is performing the service. That's not a goal. That's a guarantee. That has to be minimum baseline. The service is the same every time. It's not, hopefully we get John because he's professionally trained and we don't get one of the part-timers because they have no idea what they're doing. The guarantee is same service every time, consistency. And if it's not, I want to know about that. It's not, you won't be getting anyone in trouble. That'll be a reflection on me, not on my employees. That'll be a reflection on my training and my leadership. That means I have not done a good enough job getting them prepared to do this work. So please, by all means, if you notice a drop off in service, tell me. I want to know. I want to fix it. Everyone will be fully criminal background checked. So, that's not an issue that you're going to have to worry about, who is coming into my home, who is handling my pet. And I am going to be doing, in addition to the training, a full vetting process that is going to include 3 months as sort of like a junior pet sitter, sort of like an extended training period before they do any overnight or live-in services. So they'll be fully vetted, fully trained before they start taking on the more serious services. And you might be asking yourself also, what's going to happen? John, you have a key to my house. How is that going to work? What we're going to do for that is Jon Loves Dogs, the company will buy a lockbox for physical key users. Obviously, if you have a security code, if that's something that can be entered, to enter the home into like a keypad, then that's all good. That's something that'll live in our database. If not, if you use a physical key, we're going to get a copy made by the company so that I can keep a master key in the event that a key is misplaced or, whatever might happen. And it's going to be kept in a physical lockbox on your property. It's just a little branded lockbox. It has our logo on it. We can put it wherever you want. If you want it on the front door, if you don't, we can hook it on a fence, whatever. And if you choose to end services, if you say, hey, I want my key, I don't want you to have a key, we're ending services, any keys that we copy will be either returned to you or disposed of, whatever you prefer. So, 3 extra keys if you want them, or we'll get rid of them and make sure that we don't keep them if you don't want us to. So that's how we're going to handle that. Again, this is super exciting. This really, really makes me happy to see the business growing like this. And supporting this growth is going to be important with new tools, because an immediate concern of mine when we decided to hire is IT tools, scalable IT tools. Doggy Logs, which we use right now, is excellent, but it's really optimized for solo workers. So to fix that, we're going to be switching to a larger, much more involved, much more scalable system called Time to Pet. Time to Pet is universally beloved in the pet care industry. It's extremely popular. It's used by everything from groomers to kennels to dog walkers, pet sitters. It's got everything in one spot. So it's going to keep your info, invoicing, booking. It's got all pricing in there, GPS tracking for walks, just like doggy logs, so you're not losing that. Photo uploads, administrative data like your emergency contacts, our legal service agreement, which I've been sending to you guys like just with DocuSign. It's got that in there. And the most important thing is messaging directly from you and visible by our entire staff. So what that means is you're now going to be messaging instead of text message through the app. And it's a downloadable app. You can log in. It'll get you right to our portal. You send a message in there, the whole team will see it. So, if I'm away, if I'm sleeping, if I'm busy doing whatever, you're not going to be waiting hours and hours to receive a reply. There's going to always be someone on the other end to chat with you. So it's very transparent. It's a next level customer service type deal for you guys. I think you're going to find that it's going to work much better than like the back and forth text messaging and emailing. The invoicing stuff is better. So on that note, the invoicing, you will have to sign up. You'll have to add payment info, but I will create the account for you. And I will do my best to add all of the information I have from you. That's including a photo of your pet, emergency contacts you guys have already provided, your vet's information, access codes, whatever you've provided to us, I'm going to go ahead and add that because I want to make this transition as painless as possible for you. I don't want you to have to go sign up and write all of this crap in there. You're like, he already has all this. Like, why do I have to do this again? I'm doing that all myself. And booking and paying will be so much more streamlined than it has been. We've been booking. You guys have been paying me mostly by Zelle. Some of you pay with cash. I've been sending like Google invites and text messages, which is just not really optimal because not everybody uses Google Calendar. Not everyone is fluent in that. So this will be much more streamlined. Everything will be in one spot. And some of you are paying by cash still. The inconvenience here is that we will be requiring payments through the app universally in the future. So that's exclusive to debit and credit cards. That runs through Stripe. So we don't have your credit card data. We don't have your debit card data. That's not something that's revealed to us. That runs through Stripe. It runs through the app. And, I apologize for that inconvenience. I know some people really do prefer paying with cash, but this is necessary just due to the extra administrative micromanaging that cash requires in the form of invoicing. I have to do bank runs sometimes multiple times per week. That takes up some time. Depositing. It'll also prevent any potential errors from arising in documentation, which is always a challenge when cash is changing hands. So everything will be written in, the proverbial ink within our app. That'll be ease of reference for you. Plus, those of you that are into min-maxing the credit card rewards game, that'll get you rewards points in the form of credit card payments. So the timeline for this app change, I am trying to do it within this next week. I have a lighter week this week than the last few weeks. I will try and get all of your profiles entered and get invites out to you. That will show up in your email. So that'll show up in your email. So keep an eye out for that. You'll have to come in. You'll have to enter a password, which again, that's something that, you have access to. We can reset it for you, but we can't see it. So you'll add that. You'll add emergency contacts. If you don't already have that, that's very important. This is an emergency contact in case something happens and we can't service you, for example, an overnight when you're away. Someone, whether it's a sibling, a friend, a parent, who can jump in and say, I'll take care of your dogs for the 3 nights you're away. It's an emergency situation. Very important that we have those. I'll be reaching out to you guys for emergency contacts if I don't see them entered in there. And your vet. If your dog is hurt and you don't have a vet in there, it's not like we're not just going to abandon your dog and say, oh, well, too bad. We'll take them to the nearest vet. But if you have a vet that you prefer who's familiar with your pets, please enter that as well. That helps us too. And then make sure to enter your payment method too. We, as you guys know, we only book if we get payment full and upfront. So we need payment info in there. I will also get all of your recurring appointments set up. I want to get that set up as quickly as possible so you don't experience any interruption of services. And if there are any hiccups whatsoever, I don't think there will be, but if you get locked out of your account or like a credit card's not working, we're going to err on the side of taking care of your pets. So if an appointment comes around and you're having trouble with the system for whatever reason, we're going to take care of your pets first and foremost. We'll find a way to make that work. I guarantee we will not let any technical snafus with payments or software disrupt our services to you. We're going to find a way to make that stuff work. We'll be there when we're scheduled to be there. And, if we have to run it through cash, if we have to run through Zelle or whatever, we'll figure out a way. So that's, any questions on that? If you guys have any trouble, let me know. I'm happy to show up. I will stop by your home and walk you through the setup process if I have to. That's really not a huge issue. I'm stopping by regularly anyway. So I think that's all I have to say on that. This is probably already going longer than I expected. So kudos to any of you that are still actually listening. By the way, I will write this up and send it out in an email as well for bullet points in case it's too long. But I wanted to talk through it as well. So I do have one point to make that is a bit of a structural change. And really, it's something that I kind of just have to take on the chin because I feel, just frankly, that our overnight services are not providing the best value for you guys right now. And that's, to be clear, that's my fault. That's me trying to make the business work and being new to this and trying to connect the dots. And I've actually spoken with some of you about this already, about the overnight sitting services. And I wanted to just further detail this. If you don't use overnight sittings, feel free to clock out right now. I've said the most important things that I need to say. But for those of you who do, I've been keeping the rate relatively low to try and stay competitive with rover sitters. And I've been supplementing that loss on margin by adding more services during the days when I'm sitting. So as you know, I'll run out, I'll do dog walks. I'll try and stop back once per day, for feeding, for a potty break, and that's included in the sitting price. But to be completely transparent, that workload, as I mentioned before, it's starting to take its toll a little bit. And believe me, I don't mind working extra hours. I don't mind working extra hard doing this because I really adore this work. I wake up every morning and I'm so excited that I get to do this for a living. It's amazing. The issue that's arising is not any lack of enthusiasm. It's that my physical body and my brain are sometimes just not up to the task. And, like I mentioned earlier in this video, I've had several days where I am just working for 20 plus hours of a 24-hour period. And, while I love this work and I don't mind working that hard, I am just becoming too fatigued to be as present and energetic as I really need to. And as you deserve as clients, paying what you're paying for overnight services. And in addition to that, I often end up paying myself something like $5 to $8 per hour doing overnight sittings in trying to keep those prices affordable for clients, which is very important. I want our prices to be fair. I don't want you to feel like you are, getting taken advantage of here. And during sittings, I'm away from your homes more and more, taking on these appointments and trying to compensate for the small margin. And I would honestly, because of the dip in quality, I'd rather kill this service entirely than keep it running and knowing that I'm not up to par. And the complication that's introduced here as well is once I hire people, I can't pay them, $8 to $10 an hour. Obviously, legally, that's minimum wage in New Jersey is $15.49 an hour. That's well below minimum wage. So we would not be compliant with the New Jersey Department of Labor if we did that. But in addition to that, I can't ask people who are working for me to go make $10 an hour. I'm not willing to do that to make the business run and keep this service alive. That's something where I need to take care of my workers, and the quality isn't there to begin with. So basically what I'm doing is I'm kind of just killing overnight sitting bookings for the moment in order to focus on some of these things that we have cooking in terms of migrating to the new app, hiring part-time workers, offering the new services that we're offering. Now, if you already have a sitting service booked with us, that booking it remains secure. We're not going to be canceling bookings or anything like that, but I do want to make it clear that pet sitting is primarily an overnight service. So what this means is while your pets won't be alone for 12 hours through the day, they will be spending anywhere from 6 to 8 hours in the home without supervision while I'm out serving our daily clients. And I wanted to make that clear too, because this is again something that's on me. I don't feel like I've always made it clear what the exact parameters and the schedule are for sitting. So that's essentially what it is. It's a 10 to 12 hour shift overnight primarily. And what I've been doing thus far is including one drop-in per day. So if you do the math on that, 12 hours max with one drop-in, that's 6 hours on each side of that drop-in average that your pets will be alone. And sometimes it's up to 8 hours. And obviously that's not ideal for all pets. If you have a senior dog, that's too long for a senior dog to be left alone. And that's something that happened to me this week that really bothered me. It really bothered me a lot. It bothers me when I feel like our clients aren't getting good service, but it bothers me more that the dog I felt was uncomfortable. And that's why I got into this business, was because I felt like kennels were not doing a good enough job in enriching the dogs that they were keeping. I feel like kennels will put a dog in a closed room for the majority of the day and take them out once to play with them for like 15 minutes. And, they'll charge you an arm and a leg to do puppy play or daycare in addition to that. And I wanted to attack that section of the market because I know how passionate I am and how empathetic I am about animals and pet care. And I'm not providing that right now. So that's something that needs to change. And if you don't feel that that's an acceptable time for your pets to be alone, I completely understand where you're coming from. And what I am offering to our clients is, if that's not something that works for you, you are completely free to cancel any booked sittings you have with us. I will refund you 100% of what you paid. We typically carry a 30-day cancellation window with overnight sittings. If it's within the cancellation window, I don't care. I'm going to refund you 100%. You can find a different pet sitter if you like. I will not take any offense to that. Even if I've got a few sittings scheduled this month and the next couple of weeks. If you're booked through the next couple of weeks, feel free to cancel if you're not comfortable with that. I would not blame you, and I will fully refund you. So in the future, I mentioned killing overnights, but in the future, if you really need this service, if you have a senior dog who needs more care, if you have a very anxious dog who needs more care, I will find a way to make that work for you. I'll take a hit on the margin if I have to make sure that we're taking care of your pets. I will pay our workers what they're worth, and I'll either do it myself or the company will take a loss on that. There's a couple of you that I know that are going to need this service or even 24/7 care. And if you need that and you want us to provide it, reach out to me and we'll work something out. I'll figure it out. We'll be creative about it. We'll get you the care that you need. But, in general, for the most part, I think this is something that we're going to have to shelf until I can figure out a better way to do this. So anyway, I wanted to leave that to the end because that was a little bit more of that's not exciting for me. That's something that I feel like I failed at, but I wanted to be honest about it and let you guys know my thoughts on it. So finally, we're coming to the end. I knew that I would take too long. I am a bag of wind when it comes to talking about things that I'm passionate about. But in conclusion, a lot of things are changing here, most of which I'm extremely excited about. I hope that comes through. This business has been incredible. This is dominating my every waking hour in a good way. I'm so excited about these things that are coming down the pipe, the growth that we're seeing, the business, meeting all of you, meeting your dogs. It's almost literally a dream come true for me. This is something that I've always wanted for my career, that I've been trying to find with volunteering and with grooming. And I feel like I have finally found it. And whether or not I do this for the next 30 years and retire after doing it, or, it doesn't work out and I do it for the next couple years and decide that I have to move on from it. It's just been amazing. It's amazing. And I'm so excited for the future, for meeting more new people and more new pets and building a team. And this dream come true is due to you. Thank you so much for using our services from the bottom of my heart. This has been amazing. I've met so many awesome people through doing this, and so many amazing pets through doing this. I can't believe I get to do this and pay my bills doing this. It's incredible. So thank you so much. Thank you for being with me as we continue to grow the business. I'm so excited about what's coming in the future. And if you have any questions, any suggestions, like I mentioned in the beginning, your suggestions are what creates ideas for me, for our offering. So if you have any suggestions, anything you want to see us offer, constructive criticism, if we come through and you feel like we didn't do a good enough job, I want to know how we can do better. You guys know my number. This number goes directly to me. You can text me, you can message me through the app. I will figure out what we can do to make our services better. I'm here for you. Always feel free to reach out at any time. And again, thank you guys so much. I cannot say it enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you all this month. Finally, it's June. It's summer. It's not freezing out anymore. I'm recording this on Sunday, so enjoy your Sundays. Enjoy the rest of your weeks, and I will see you guys very soon. Thank you so much. I love all of you. I love all of your animals. If you made it to this point in the video, I am so impressed. I'm going to post this on YouTube, so go ahead and leave a comment that you actually made it to the end and watched the whole thing, and I will give you some special kudos. That's another new thing I didn't even talk about, the YouTube channel. Like, that's something I want to post videos on there eventually. But this is long enough. We'll get into that maybe next month for that. Thank you guys so much. I will see you around. Enjoy your summers and your Junes, and please feel free to reach out whenever you need me. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.